Finishing up on what? I can't hear you. Everybody, somebody talk to me. No, what unit are we in? Look at your focus wall. Somebody said that's the standard that I just read. What unit are we in? Right? United States versus Canada and the 13 colonies. Good. So the essential question, Destiny and Ariana, that we addressed the other day when you guys were out is why did the French and Indian War happen? Why did the French and Indian War happen? So the GIST template, the GIST template that you have, there's a spot for you to put your name. Make sure your name and your date is on it because this will be a part of your binder check. It'll be for a grade and it's going into your binder, so that's a way for you to get 2 grades in one. All right. The article title we know is the French and Indian War. What's the source, class? Tell them. Freckle. All right. So let's start out with the who. What's the who, India? She can't hear you. All right, class, do you agree with India? Okay, the who was the French. The who was the French, the British, the Native American, and the American colonists. That's what India said. Question. It won't come up. Your freckle won't. Okay. Do you have a sheet? You did this with us when that was your first day with us, right? You did this. Okay. All right. Let's go with the what. Let's go with the what. Keely, what was the what? Do you remember? Give me the what. The French and Indian War. The French and Indian War. Remember, we're approaching the 5 W's. The who, what, where, when, and why. Okay? So let's look at the where. Let's look at the where. What's the where, Josh? Nice. Sit up. All right. Seems to be a discrepancy there. Tell them, Indy, what do you have? That's right. You did this. Okay. All right. What we know is the French and Indian War. What's the source, class? Tell them. Freckle. All right. So let's start out with the who. What's the who, India?
I'm sorry, I accidentally hit something.
She can't hear you.
I'm no good at any of this.
All right, class, do you agree with India? Okay, the who was the French. The who was the French, the British, the Native American, and the American colonists. That's what India said. Question. It won't come up. Your freckle won't. Okay. Do you have a sheet? You did this with us when that was your first day with us, right? You did this. Okay. All right. Let's go with the what. Let's go with the what. Keely, what was the what? Do you remember? Give me the what. The French and Indian War. The French and Indian War. Remember, we're approaching the 5 W's. The who, what, where, when, and why. Okay? So let's look at the where. Let's look at the where. What's the where, Josh? Now you sit up. All right. Seems to be a discrepancy there. Tell them, Indy, what do you have? Okay. Josh, what do you have? Okay. So we know the Mississippi River, the St. Lawrence River, the Ohio River Valley, Canada, North America, and Pickle Willing. That's Pickle Willing. Am I right, Keith? Okay, that's it. Pickle Willing. Okay, so those are the locations that you should have down for the war. And anybody have to go to Pickle Willing. All right, so that's where. That's the where part. When? When did it take place? 9 years. That's what I was looking for. Great. 9 years. Okay, but why? Why did the war take place? Okay, they were fighting over land, territory, trade routes. Trade routes. Okay. All right. So at the bottom, ladies, there's an area for you to write a 20-word gist. 20 words from the article that stood out to you. 20 words that stood out to you or that stand out to you from the article. So, Ariana and Destiny, I don't know if you can access the French and Indian War. If you can, you just need to pull out 20 words from that particular article that stand out to you. 20 words from that article that stand out to you. All right. So this recap is our bell ringer, but we're also going to approach our essential question of the day. We're going to approach our essential question of today. So that was our anticipatory set. I've already modeled to you how you should do your gist template. And we will do a gist template in just a few minutes on the Boston Tea Party. But before we get into that, we want to make sure we check for understanding in regards to what happened during the French and Indian War. The king of Britain tried to do what to the colonists over here? He tried to do what? Tax. And that leads us, good job. That leads us to our essential question of the day. What is no taxation without representation? What is no taxation without representation? That's our essential question of the day. If you don't have this in your binder already written down, please write it. Josh is bringing you a sheet of paper if you need it. I'm passing out paper. What is no taxation without representation? Keely just mentioned to us that the king wanted to tax the American colonies. We're going to dive into that just a little bit with this question. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to research. Use your Chromebooks to research that information. What is no taxation without representation mean? In a few minutes after everybody looks up their answer, we'll discuss. This essential question goes in your binder. It goes in the notes section of your binder. Get started. What does no taxation without representation mean? In the event that you can't see the smart board, it's on the focus wall right next to Madison, written right under essential questions. Make sure to put your name and your date on your paper. What does it mean? What does no taxation without representation? Now think about it. When you're looking or researching your answer, you're not just looking for a definition on what does no taxation without representation mean. You're trying to dive into that phrase, that question, to figure out how it ties into the lesson we had a few days ago or yesterday or the day before about the French and Indian War. Tie it into what we've been discussing in regards to the 13 colonies, the French and Indian War. What does it mean? About 1 minute. Harrison Field has it. Anderson Gates has it. Naya has it. All right, let's go ahead and jump on that. No taxation without representation. All right, Indy, I saw your hand pop up. All right. She said that the colonists did not believe that they should be taxed unless they had representation from the British Parliament. Does anybody have something different? And we're talking about colonists that are over here in the what? 13 what? Colonies in the United States. Right, like Phil said. Europe is way over here across the waters, across what ocean? So, the king wanted to tax them, even though they were over here on American soil. But why did he want to tax them? To help do what? Pay for the what? War. Pay for the war.